I'm on.
You're on?
Yeah, I'm on. There are other people coming on as well. Okay, awesome. It's already recording. Yes, we're on. We're back. Okay, guys, are you ready to build, scale, done? Say it again. Say it with me together. Type it in sync into the chat. Go right now. Build, scale, done. Okay, go ahead and put your video on over there, Mr. Jonathan, so we can see you. So yeah, there you go. Awesome. Hey guys. All right. Awesome. So we have this really nice office here that we've booked for this session, just as if you were here. And it's kind of funny. I'm going to just turn my camera around a little bit like this and show you around the room. Look at how many chairs there are. And we're going like, why are there so many chairs? Why are there so many chairs and we don't have people sitting in them? Like, how fun would that be if you would actually be here with us and sitting in these chairs? At least some of you, that would be really lovely, a lovely thing to do. Okay, awesome. So let's get into this awesome presentation. I'm going to share my screen here right now. Let me see. Let me make sure my Facebook chat is turned off, my Skype is turned off, and everything is good. And there you go. I'm ready for you. All right, let me share the screen. So now we want to go into Shopify and into the Shopify store setup. Okay, so now this session is going to be a session that has a lot to do with basics, but it's going to be, there's going to be nuggets in there that point further ahead, and there's also going to be nuggets that will make the basics kind of like less daunting. Like right when you guys started, and you first dug into Shopify themes and Shopify store setup, you've probably felt a fair amount of overwhelm. At least that's what it was with me. You know, I was first on my Shopify store. I was, oh man, yeah, okay, this is a little bit kind of like WordPress, but other than that, man, okay, so there are some components that are really different. So the Shopify platform, we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to show you the storefront, where it's really about the theme and the user experience. And then we're going to go over some functionality aspects that's mostly in the Shopify platform, hidden in apps. There are a few functionality aspects that are built into the platform itself. But then there are also a lot of functional aspects that are actually added in apps. And that, in a sense, that can actually be a little bit of a disadvantage because the apps normally charge something, at least a little bit. So as soon as you all of a sudden, heap apps on top of apps and you load up the store with, 30, 40 apps, all of a sudden your Shopify store goes from this initial, $29 model to costing you like $300 a month. And you go, all right, well, I better sell something now. So here's some of the functionalities, right? Payments. So payments, that first is like, all right, the basic is already built into Shopify, and a lot of stores use the Shopify payment method, but it can also be enhanced with apps. Fulfillment, Shopify is getting more into actually providing fulfillment, almost kind of reaching out towards Amazon a little bit with that. But their fulfillment issues are mostly something that is handled by apps, or I should say, not fulfillment issues, but fulfillment technology. The technical aspect of fulfillment is mostly handled by apps, but also some components in Shopify. Then there are customer relations. So what I mean by that is how you actually shape the relationship, right? So Shopify takes in the customers and the customer information, of course, when they place an order and they put stuff in the cart, but then you have to forge the relationship with some additional tools. Some of the tools are built into Shopify. A lot of enhanced tools like CRMs, contact relation, customer relation management apps are in apps, okay, for example. All right, so why should you use Shopify in the first place? Well, that's a really good question here. So first question is the store versus a funnel. When you're kind of looking around and doing your research in e-commerce, you will generally find two ways to approach this, two ways to approach marketing. You will find campaigns that go towards sending people to a store. A store is something where you land them on a page, and it's obvious from this page that you're in a store in the sense that there's also other things there that you could shop around in the store, right? A store is like a shop, so you can shop around in the shop and find other things in the store. That's what makes a store different from the other approach, which is a funnel. So with a funnel, you have a campaign that lands people on a specific dedicated landing page that is only for that specific offer, only for that specific dedicated product, and then it goes on about the benefits and everything there. But basically, you're not giving the users any kind of options. You're basically just saying, okay, here's this product, you want it. If you leave, well, you know, I'm gonna say something to see if you might consider coming back or whatever, but I'm not usually going to give you any other options where you like shop around and go, ooh, this is interesting too, let's go for that. So the store aspect is, there are a lot of times there's residual things that you can do. You know, you can land people in kind of your store environment and say, all right, I have here a baby item, but as you can see, we also have some mama stuff here, and we have different, you know, we have baby toys and baby clothes and baby diapers, or whatever we have for about diapers. So it's a variety, and you can kind of expand and build trust and confidence by offering and showing that you're a store. Okay, so that's the main argument for Shopify. And as you go and expand on that, you can actually find apps that try to integrate the two models, and they integrate the funnel model and bring funnel landing pages, funnel style landing pages into Shopify, into the store. And this is kind of an expansive way, an expansion for this. Now, for the beginning, for if you don't have your Shopify store set up at all yet, or if you're really at the beginning, I wouldn't recommend that you overthink this, but rather you just set up your store and you see how this works with the basic setup. Okay, so just show of hands here, or show of yes or yay or nay in the chat, who has already a Shopify store and who doesn't have one yet. Important question. Yeah, come on over here.
Yeah, I want to see the.
You want to see the chat on this? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you the chat. Whoops.
Oh.
What did I do?
Chat. You did invite, I think. Yes, I do have already. Yeah.
Yes,
okay,
yes. So most of you have this already. So then so it's really everybody has a store. So this is okay.
So are then having any troubles with anything?
Yeah. So do you have any challenges? Are you uncertain about anything that's in your store? So Arndt has a WooCommerce store. That's interesting. Okay. Store, but not ads yet. Okay, making sales is the challenge. Do you have sales in the store? Few sales in the store. Few sales is a progress from the other one.
Okay, I have a store just to make more sales. Few sales. So pretty much almost. Okay, maybe we could. Okay, well, maybe what we could do is we can go over the general. I mean, I think a lot of people.
Yeah, we'll just go
over. Yeah, maybe we could review some other stores too.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna go through this quick, and guys, the thing is, there's tons of how-to instruction videos in the members area that are going to be set live right when we're done on this webinar, and you'll be able to see them right then and there. Okay, so let's just go through this. You're basically, when you're in the store, you're designing the user experience. You know, that's what the store is for. The store will show you, will show the user and give some feel of the lifestyle that is connected with your brand, with the way that people are feeling in your store, right? There are some colors, you know, colors, how Bridget mentioned earlier, when colors are fresh, when you're appealing to, like, you know, babies, like a younger audience, where like everything is like a signature color and very playful design elements and really fresh and popping colors. Whereas when you're going for, you know, mountain hiking or like a nature type design or store, then you kind of go for brownish colors or greenish colors or bluish colors, something that connects, right? That's something that works well with the niche that you're going for. And, you know, so there are colors there that have to do with your branding, that signal a certain lifestyle, that signal certain values actually that are in the colors. And then there are other colors that are like colors on the buttons. Your colors on the buttons are a lot of times like different from the other colors that are in the store, right? So that the buttons stand out more. So think branding when you're kind of looking at, okay, so how can I make this memorable, but also so it comes together in a beautiful, appealing, maybe could be disturbing, right? It kind of depends on what niches you are. When you go into the prison niche, ex-con niche, you're going to have maybe a different design. But so you want to, connect with your audience, in the way that you design the store, in the way you present the store. You want to make it personable. Whenever you see actual people in the store, at least in kind of like the environment of the store, or in the product pages, that translates really well, that starts building a personal relationship. And try to come up with recognizable elements and just like a feel, kind of a style. It starts with things like the logo and how the logo then relates to the rest of the style in the store. Make the users feel welcome. I have something going on with my slideshows here. These are supposed to come up one thing at a time, but so there. So for the functional design aspects, you want to always make sure to really begin with the mobile experience. And we're really doing this the wrong way, right? Because we're usually sitting on our computer desktops and getting this beautiful banner image, like scrolling stuff and blah, blah, blah. It takes up a lot of screen space in our homepage. You don't even have to worry so much about how you design the homepage, right? Homepage design is, okay, it's nice. It's nice to have something nice there, but it's not important because you're not going to send traffic to the homepage. Usually you don't. If you see successful stores that are sending traffic to the homepage usually doesn't just have a big image and it says start shopping, right? It usually has offers on the homepage already. It usually shows you products on the homepage right away. So then, think about the navigation. How much navigation should be accessible within your store? What should you look at, in the menus? How much should you make accessible and browsable for your audience? Should you have a search? And then there's some specific pages, and Bridget's going to go into the details on those in just a little bit. So, for example, terms of service, shipping terms, refund terms, just general terms, an about page, and she's going to talk about the details on those. And a lot of these are also covered in like really, one step at a time videos that you can actually readily hand over to your assistants or to your team to set up a new store brand from scratch for you. So optimizing for speed is a big subject for beginning stores. There are a couple of ways to do this. You can optimize the file size, particularly for images. You can optimize by reducing the image counts. A lot of times when you have tons and tons of variants, in some themes, they all are pulled into the product page and they make the load time super slow, even though they're really unimportant, right? If you have the main product image and you have 30 other images that are like teeny tiny thumbnails there, you don't need to have them all loaded into the page right away. Okay, so there are some ways there to look for this and reducing the image counts, and then checking on apps that can slow down the product pages in particular. And I put a link here. I'm going to also put this in the members area outside of here so you can click on it. If you go to tools.pingdom.com, you get to a page that allows you to analyze the speed of a page by actually each single element that loads on the page. Maybe if you have time later on, we can step into this for a minute and see a product page, type a product page into this tool, and then see how that breaks down and how certain apps can actually slow you down there in the load time. Here are a couple of good themes that I would recommend. So basically there are three types of themes. There are free themes, paid themes and marketer themes. So the free themes are like the one that is now currently with the beginner packages in Shopify. It's called Debut. It has two variations. One is called Default, one is called something else, and it's a free theme. And Bridget is going to actually walk you through that a little bit on how to find certain design elements there and how to get really up to speed very quickly on designing this with a really simple, basic, and free theme. Then there are also other free themes that are available. And later on in the afternoon, Bridget will do a session where she actually allows you to look over her shoulder as she's setting up an entire store in the Retina theme. And what I want to show you there with that is, what kind of artistic decisions you might make or your designer might make. And, who knows? Some people who watch this webinar or watch the webinar later might be really designers who have creative ideas that they want to kind of see how to get inspired by the way that Bridget does it. So theme customization, stream demos. I'm going to hand the screen here over to Bridget at this time. I'm going to unshare my screen and mute my microphone, and then I'm going to go hand it over to Bridget so that she can walk you through the debut theme, all right? So I'm going to mute myself here. Do you have it?
So we're here in Shopify store. Since a lot of you have a store already, I'm just gonna briefly go store name. Oh, demo store. Oops. There you go.
Why don't you just log in?
Oh wait, that was not login. No wonder. Oh, it's still in. Okay, so now we're in the customize. So you guys already know where everything is. If not, we have videos on each one of them. Do I need to go over it since a lot of people already have it? Have the Shopify store?
Let's just, everybody pretty much, yeah, if you guys already have the Shopify store, we don't need to go too much in detail, but you guys know where everything is, right? Home is going to be where you show your sales and you can see all this stuff. The orders is kind of where your order pages are, right? You guys, if you have 0 sales, right, it's going to look like this. If you have sales,
pretend like we have some viewers who don't mind.
Okay.
yeah. So
we'll just go over it briefly,
yeah, so
but
just
don't pretend like.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's people that might not have stores.
Okay. So in the home page, and whenever you have sales, it's going to be showing over here. And a lot of it will also give you ideas of what products people are checking in. So definitely pay attention to that. And orders, this definitely is where you're gonna see your customer's order as well as customers' information as well. And you can also see abandoned checkouts where how many people abandoned it, how much they actually abandoned in their cart. And this is where you're going to be uploading your products. I already uploaded a few for demo for later. And then also you can create your collections here. These are just the main points we're going to be covering later. Customers, this is where you're going to be finding your customer's information, shipping address, phone number, email addresses as well. Analytics, this is where you will see where your sales are coming from, how many people visits, per day, per week, per month, okay? And then discounts. This is where you can create your discount codes to help your customers have a better shopping experience with you. And apps. This is where you're going to find apps that can really help optimize your store, such as Overload, Shopify, and we will also cover what are the apps that are most helpful for your store later on today. And so right now I'm gonna just kind of briefly go over the customization of the online theme. So I'm gonna hit customize right here. Now, a lot of people, when you first start out, you may buy a theme. Okay, sorry. Okay. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, I'll come over here too. So this is where you can explore other free themes. And this is where you can explore things that you have to purchase. And this is where you're going to upload your theme after you purchase them or download them from the free theme store, okay? And right now we're just gonna go over the default theme from Shopify. And I'm gonna come over here to customize. So let's say when you buy a theme, usually they will show you a thumbnail or an image of how the thing looks like, and he's like, oh my god, it looks great, and after you download it, it looks like nothing on the picture. But I just want to let you know is everything is customizable. You just have to figure out where everything is. So usually when I download a thing, when I have a thing, the very first thing that I go over is logo. Whereas you're going to come to header, and then this is where you can select your image for your logo, and you can customize the logo size as well. And then your main menu on top right here, or you can do footer. We're not gonna put footer menu, or you can create other menu wherever, however you want to choose. Like you can create different type of category menus that you can connect to your menu later. And you can also have a show announcement bar. Again, this is just this theme. Everything has different functionality. I'm just briefly going over this. Homepage only, and you can customize the color. Now, over here, image with text overlay. So usually I would put, let's say if you're selling, you're doing a dog niche or a baby niche, I would, a few suggestions I would put, which I will show you later. Baby niche, I will probably choose a product where I can put on the front store and have text next to it, so that it creates a beautiful layout for your customers to experience when they check out your store. When you come in here, this is where you can select your image. I'm going to show you later as well where you can find your images and how to make it the size that you want to put on here to match with it. And once you put in the image, these image with text overlay, if you already have text on your original image that you uploaded, then you don't really need this. But if not, if it's just a pure image and you want to type something on there, you can definitely change it right here. Hello, and then welcome to my store. Okay, so images matter, and then I'll show you later how to search for images, what are the resources that I use, and you can section left, right, text size, button label if you choose to have a button, and then you can link the button as well. Okay, or you can delete a section and go, you know what, I don't want it. So this is where you delete the section. Okay, so over here, image with text, every time you click on it, it will kind of show you where it is in your Shopify store, and you can decide if you want to keep it or not keep it. And this, again, this is where you put your image, where you modify your texts and delete the section. And then if you like to add different section, you can go over here to add section and just look at before you decide whether or not you want to add it, you can just click on it and say, oh, do I want blog posts? It's like, unless you want it, then you can click add, then it will be officially added to your store. But if not, ignore it, go on and look, oh, collection list. Do I want collection list? Feature collection list, okay? And gallery, where you can put multiple different photos. Image with text that I showed you earlier. Image with text overlay, which is like this. Logo list. For some people, they probably are featured on certain like CVS or whatever it is. You can put your logo list right here. Slideshow. I would use this if you have multiple images that you can use, and I will put it on the very top. Okay. And feature products, and you can feature products like right here, and you will have multiple. You can connect it to certain collections. So let's say we can go over this later. I'll show it to you. A newsletter. Okay, where is it showing? Newsletter. Show it to me. Okay, right here. You can connect this to your MailChimp or Aweber. And map. You can also. This is based on this theme. Default theme only. Rich text, you can talk about your brand, your testimonials, text column. And if you want this, let's say I want testimonial, I'm gonna add it. Now it will be added to, okay, so add it. After you add it, you can start modifying it. You click on the testimonial and say, I love this product. Okay, and that's my name. There, okay? So save, and then you can modify each one of them by clicking into them, okay? After that, you can come back to the section and you see, and you can reorganize it as well. So here's the header. I go, okay, I kind of, I like my slideshow on top, but I also want my image with text right below the slideshow, Okay, and then I have my feature collection over here. So you can modify however you want. Okay, image with slide. Okay, so and then here's the footer menu, and which you can definitely modify later. And I will go over each one of them. Also, I have video trainings on how to create pages and menu as well. So that's about the brief overview of the Shopify store as well as the theme. Now, later on today, I'm going to use the Retina theme, which is the paid theme. It has more different functionality. It makes the website look a lot cooler. It's just a little bit more complex, and I thought it would be cool to show it to you guys so you guys see the option. This is because this is a free theme, it's a default, so the functionality sometimes is limited. Okay, or if you guys are using a certain themes and you think is really cool and it's very, very useful, feel free to share it with us, with everybody as well. So that's about it for this one.
Okay, cool. Are you gonna go over the About Us and stuff later?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do that. And I'll talk about Us, Contact Us page. Those are very, very important because those create trusts.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, there's a few key components that we use that we notice work really well in terms of creating that trust and actually even increasing conversions.
Yeah, basically I will create a store and thinking out loud throughout the process to kind of show you why I choose a certain images and giving you the resources of how you can design it yourself, or you can hire a designer to do it for you. And also kind of going over how to upload products, creating pages, overview of that. Anything else?
I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let me see. Let me switch over our mics in here without causing havoc.
Go back.
It's good. Just unshare on your side. All right, awesome. So there you go. Or I can actually just share mine here. It works like this too. All right, I think we're back to my screen, right?
Yep.
All right, awesome, great. So, so let's talk a little bit about apps. With apps, I would really kind of stay fairly basic on apps in the beginning, at least. If you're brand new to Shopify and you're setting something up, you're going to overwhelm yourself with apps, and you're going to also kind of overwhelm yourself in your budget with apps, right? So that can also be a problem. The first app that I think is a total must-have is Abandonment Protector. Abandonment Protector is a program that is super inexpensive, an app that is there basically to make sure that you can follow up in a better way than Shopify does it with the built-in way on abandoned carts. So Abandonment Protector is made for sending emails to people who have left stuff in their cart, and to this email follow-up sequence, you can get them back and you can get them to check out and do that. Now, I would also recommend in the beginning, this is an initial beginning recommendation, that you run Retarget app to run your dynamic retargeting ads. The reason why I say that is there are, of course, ways to manually run your own DPA ads, and you can use Trackify for catalog feed builder, but before you get into that, and it's actually a little bit of a complexity of the setup there, and before you get into that and make it all complicated for yourself, I would suggest that you actually going to just run Retarget app. It's very easy to set up. You install it, you put a little bit of money into it for budget, and as soon as you run some traffic to products, they're going to start retargeting those visitors, and that's going to be additional money in your pocket. I know there are all kinds of advanced objections against retargeting the Retarget app, but I would do that rather, let them do it than not do it at all. That's the main reason why I recommend that. Okay, Klaviyo is next on my list here, absolutely. Yes, and you are right. If you run a Klaviyo, then that covers your abandoned sequence as well, your abandoned cart sequence. And it's a really good solution. So you can basically switch that out. If you actually install Klaviyo, and if you actually set up an abandonment sequence in Klaviyo, then you can get rid of abandonment protector, absolutely. But Klaviyo is actually quite a bit more complicated to set up, and it's also a little bit more expensive. So abandonment protector is like ultra super cheap. For the people who say, well, I don't know about Klaviyo, I have to think about that, I wanted to just kind of try out how things work. For those, the recommendation is put abandonment protector in there and make sure that you have something. Wheelio is an awesome app that is kind of gamifying the store experience. As an app that displays as a spinning wheel in your store. You can find it on so many stores. It's extremely popular. It's in so many stores. It's really easy to find. So once you know what it is, you'll recognize it. So what it does is it prevents the user from exiting the page by offering a little game to play. It's like spin a wheel, spinning wheel, spin a wheel, and then there are several steps of the wheel where it might stop, and if you can win something, basically, win something. And you win coupon codes usually, and there's a special way to kind of configure that so that you get a really good opt-in rate. So the purpose of Wheelio there is to get email opt-ins when someone spins the wheel for the chance to win a coupon. And here's an interesting thing. So since this is not a marketing gimmick, but it's actually a way to acquire someone's email address and make them then go on and go shopping, that's actually a really good way to always make them win something, right? So Wheelio will never make the user lose. The user lose. The loser use. The user lose. It will never make the user lose. There are, so on the wheel, there are some steps. Actually, let's just bring this up on the screen, and I don't need to just kind of talk over it on the dry run here. Let's bring this up real quick. I'm going to go to the Shopify App Store. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my tried and true Red Retarget demo store, and I'm going to go into the apps, and I'm going to go into. So this is actually. Don't look at the apps in this store. They're more for study purposes than for actually selling something, because this is not an active store. But right here we are in this, and we're just gonna. This is the App Store. I'm just going to look for Wheelio. There are some similar gamification apps that have now imitated that. You can look at. What I wanted to show you is an actual screenshot here. Oh, his screenshots aren't working. Well, look at that. Okay. Well, there you go. And we have to keep talking about it. There you go. There's one. Okay, that's the screenshot I was pulling up, right? So this is a screenshot of an example store. So what happens if you try to leave the store, this thing here pops up, and you have all these chances of winning here. So it says 40% off, almost 30% off, no lucky today, not lucky today, 20% off next time. So now if you enter your email, if you enter your email there, let's go back again. If you enter your email here and then try your luck, it will spin this wheel, and it'll stay on one of these brackets here, right? On one of these pizza slices here on the wheel. And this will actually always stop on a pizza slice that has something to win. It will never go on a losing slice, even though it starts out on a losing slice, right? And there's a lot of psychology in there that is really cool that you can learn from and see, oh, that's how you do this, right? You make you pull the user back in, you show them this thing, and you go, all right, well, so spin this here, have a chance to win. Then they spin it. As they spin it, as a condition for spinning it, they have to give you their email address. So now you have their email address. Now you can market to them. But then also they will get a coupon code. And once they have a coupon code, it's that much more likely for them to actually go in there into the store and come back into the store and make a sale. So a lot of times in our stores where we have configured the slices here in kind of a tricky way, what we get is we get about 22-25% opt-in rate. So opt-in rate, that means 25% or 22% of the people who have an intention to leave the store, and Wheelio comes up and says, hey, would you like to play a little game with us? 22%, 1/4 of everybody who you would have lost from the store if it hadn't been for this, come back and actually put the email in there, and we can now market to them. And then also, a fairly high percentage of that goes through with the purchase as well. But it's part of building your customer relationship right from the beginning, and making sure that people are actually, staying with you, starting a relationship, and following up with email. Wheelio can integrate with Klaviyo really well, so that's an additional good reason to go with our recommendation here, to go with Klaviyo and Wheelio as a package. And let me go back and talk a little bit more about Klaviyo. So Klaviyo is an email program, an email contact management program. Let me see if it's actually here so I can show you the screenshot of Klaviyo. Email template editor, developed by Klaviyo. No, here it is. Email marketing for Shopify. So this is what Klaviyo looks like. You can see there, this is how it's spelled. There are good reviews here. It's, you end up paying higher fees for larger lists in the email, but because Klaviyo really allows you to make something happen with your email list, it's really a good investment. For the longest time, I was using MailChimp in my Shopify store, and I ended up paying a lot of money, and it wasn't set up properly, and I never got into the really, monetizing my list. So with Klaviyo, you can put a bunch of sequences in there that follow up on certain interactions with the store. One of them is Wheelio, right? So if you have Wheelio, it captures the email, puts it in Klaviyo, and there you want to have a follow-up sequence in there for the people who tried to leave and didn't buy. Then you can put the other follow-up sequence for the abandoned cart sequence, and then you're already pretty good. If you then use Klaviyo to send, a broadcast campaign every now and then, you're really already way ahead of the pack, way ahead of most people who run Shopify stores. So Image Optimizer is another very necessary ad. It's mostly there, again, every time you type like an app name in there into Shopify, into the Shopify store, you'll find that there are now several choices available. So it's basically a way to compress your images without losing a lot of quality. Image Optimizer also has a usage-based pricing model. It starts out with very inexpensive, but it can actually get quite expensive if you have a lot of images that need to be compressed and optimized. But it's very high quality for lossless image compression. Looks reviews, so that's another very important genre of apps, types of apps, is reviews. Getting customer reviews out in your store is a very important part of building the customer experience and starting the relationship with your customers. And the review apps that are there are good, and a good way to do this. Looks is a great way. It has good features. It's not very expensive, so I would definitely suggest you go with that one. There are much more expensive ones than that one that don't even do half as much. Trackify, that's kind of a self-plug here. I think Trackify is one of the easiest ways to actually get your Facebook pixel in Shopify. You can put your Facebook pixel into Shopify simply by going to the online store preferences here and plugging your Facebook pixel right into this place right here. This will fire your Facebook pixel in your Shopify pages, but Trackify will actually make you an advanced marketer right off the bat, even though you're starting out with Facebook ads, because it helps you build more sophisticated audiences in your Shopify store. And because of that, it'll put you well above the average marketer who doesn't use these special audiences and doesn't use the leverage that comes with that in being able to draw more better audiences from Facebook into your store. So that's Trackify. And there's some more apps to talk about. They're now not going to pop open. There's something is wrong here. So Dropify. Dropify is an app, and we have lots of special videos about Dropify, about how to pull products into your store and how to fulfill. So Dropify is one of the apps that is in the genre of fulfillment. So it's a functional app, right? And Dropify has functions where it scouts, you can scout AliExpress products with it and use Dropify to pull the product and set it up as a product in your Shopify store. And you sort out the images, replace the images that you don't like, you sort out the description, but it puts all of the product information in. It puts like a compare price internally for you on the admin that lets you know what the product is going to cost you on the back end. And it also kind of bookmarks, if you will, the relationship with the supplier. So if you research the suppliers on AliExpress, you find the right merchant provider on AliExpress, you pull that product from that supplier with Dropify into your store, and that sets it up in a way where you can simply push a few buttons and order this product from this supplier on AliExpress through Dropify. So Dropify has two functions. It allows you to put products into your store, and it allows you to order products, fulfill orders for these products through the merchant providers that you found on AliExpress with Dropify's help. It's really a very practical way to get started with drop shipping and selling these types of products. Print-on-demand apps are T-Launch, Gear Bubble, Pillow Profits. A lot of times these different companies that do fulfillment have now created their own personal private apps that you can get from them that will help you set up the product exactly the way that they want to see the variants. And you basically just upload your design, click a few buttons to show them which variants you want. So variants in Shopify, of course, obviously are the different versions, right? If you have large, small, medium, and then red, blue, green, you have 9 variants of that shirt, right? So those are all variants, and there's actually a variant limit for each product. That variant limit is 100, and so you have to, when you go for like print on demand, you have to do certain considerations about which types of variants you want to bring into the same product. And the apps are very effective in helping you out with that, because they'll show you, okay, you're over the 100 now. You better take out some sizes, or even move the hoodie variant over to a different product, where you just keep the shirts and the tanks in one product and move the hoodies over to another product so that you can make more variants. Going on to more fulfillment apps, there's ShipStation. That's a pretty important app so that you can actually fulfill things in the app yourself. A lot of times you're actually looking for ways to fulfill things that you already create yourself, or an awesome way, and this is really how I upgraded to the next step up after drop shipping. I researched a product, I tested it online, and then I verified that it was working. And then I basically ordered a little box. It was just like a little box initially, a little box of jewelry items. It was like 300 to 500 items. I don't remember if it was 300 or 500. I ordered it from the same merchant that would fulfill individual orders, but I ordered a whole box, and I got it within like 3 or 4 days from China, right? Because it was a box, it could afford more expensive, faster shipping. It was at my house right away, and I got my teenagers to pack them all up and put them into boxes and individual envelopes and ship them out to the US locations where we had sold them, right? So that's a good turnaround, makes it much faster, much more reliable. And if you have these kind of resources, where you have, kids or teenagers or anyone that you can hire from the street. You can just go off and use ShipStation yourself. But also ShipStation oftentimes can be used by a warehouse. If you're using a warehouse, you go, the next step up of graduating from drop shipping after your teenagers beat you up because they don't feel like packaging your jewelry items anymore. Then you want to go and have a relationship with the warehouse, and the warehouse then takes the bigger packages. Those are now this type of package, right? This package size from China, receives it at the warehouse, and they might actually tap into your Shopify with their ShipStation installation. That's what the ShipStation app is for. Now, ShipStation, if you use it yourself, you're going to pay a fee to them. If you don't use it yourself, if it's your warehouse that is using it, you don't even pay the fee to ShipStation in your app. You typically have the warehouse owner take care of that. OrderDesk is an awesome app if you're in a situation where you ask yourself, okay, well, so I want to fulfill some canvas art from AliExpress or from my supplier over here, and I want to also do some print on demand with T-Launch, and I also want to have my warehouse fulfill certain things that I ship to them in larger quantities and store them and keep some inventory. So how do I handle that? And it's actually quite a big problem if you have mixed orders, because someone puts a t-shirt in and then sees, oh, there's also a necklace that I like, so I'm going to put them both into the same order. If you just go with these apps here, like T-Launch or these individual provider apps, then the problem is that the other items end up not getting fulfilled, okay? Because obviously T-Launch won't fulfill a necklace that you get from AliExpress. So they're just disregarding that from the order that also has a T-Launch item. But what can happen is that the app is marking the entire order as fulfilled. And to avoid that, you want to use OrderDesk as a go-between. So OrderDesk, we're using OrderDesk in many of the very large stores that we're running that have multiple product types that are fulfilled by different fulfillment partners. Because OrderDesk twiddles all these orders apart, and it basically creates sub-orders and then sends the shirt to T-Launch and the necklace to your warehouse, where they can both be fulfilled. Then they send the order numbers back into OrderDesk, and OrderDesk passes them on into Shopify so that you can tie everything together and write. And then Shopify will actually send, the way it's automated, there's actually not that much to configure for yourself. That's why we don't even really need to go to too much of a setup. So usually how it works is when a fulfillment app like ShipStation or T-Launch or Gearbubble or Pillow Profits, when they fulfill something, they will send the tracking number back into Shopify, and then Shopify will send out an email saying, hey, this is on the way, here's the tracking number, look out for it when it gets to you. And so it's all automated. There's really no setup necessary for this. And OrderDesk makes it so that they would, in that case, actually get multiple tracking numbers, one for each item that got shipped separately, and put it back into Shopify, send separate emails saying this item's on the way. So it's kind of like how Amazon works, right? And OrderDesk perfects this in your own Shopify store in a very elegant way. So now it's going to be your turn again. So go ahead and watch the videos now or later that are now live. There's a whole walkthrough look over your shoulder that Bridget does, where she goes through the entire Shopify store setup step by step by step. So you can watch that later on if you need really guidance on that. Otherwise, there are going to be checklists. So go through the checklist and make sure your store setup right now is good, and do some tweaking, do some implementing there, and then come back for the next Q&A. There's going to be a specific Q&A about this. See the members area for the info and for the access link to the live Q&A. Thanks a lot, and see you there.
Have fun. Bye-bye.